Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. I'm here in the sanctuary facing James Bignell's painting, so you know that my guest is with me. You can see him, obviously, but we'll get to him in a second. I want to give a shout out to the Capital City Film Festival. I talked to Cameron Ganas yesterday, and really excited about what they have planned for hopefully this year, and then get it back going again next year. But y'all got to do something about COVID, and I don't know what that is to you, but take some action, whether it's a mask, a vaccine, staying away from people, whatever. We got to get this shit under control so we can start getting back to work and doing shows again. So, absolutely. Or keeping the shows going.
Absolutely.
And again, we'll get into that in a second. And I need to give a shout out to the champ, Joe Walker, thisemt.com. Thank you for everything you've been doing for us. You know, we're coming towards an end with season 1 is what I'm calling this now. And today's episode 364. Tomorrow we finish up with CISO, and then I'm going to take a break for a little bit. I've got a couple of announcements coming out on CISO's show tomorrow. And there's going to be another show coming that I'm super excited about, but I won't announce until tomorrow. So let's get to our guest. What's happening, John? How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I told you we bullshit a little bit, but the more this keeps happening to me, I didn't know I knew your brothers until
you just told me
like 15 minutes ago. And as I've been talking to you, I know your dad.
That's crazy.
He's Robert Sr., right? Is that
no? He's Richard Sr.
Richard.
Yeah, I got a brother named Richard. He lives on California. So.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't want to get into that this much, but I see it now. Didn't see it. Yeah. Well, as I've been talking to you, just a little bit of your emotions and stuff like that. So I'm really excited.
Well, that's a good thing that you know my dad, you know my brothers. Yeah. I mean, at least you're sort of familiar, you know what I mean, with me and at least some of my background. So
yeah, I think that, you know, when I was going to Gardner and going to Everett, I don't know how I crossed paths with your brother, but him and you know what it was? What? We used to play Tunk. It's gambling. We used to gamble in the cafeteria at Everett all the time.
Did you win?
Well, you know how gambling goes. It's a gamble.
I don't like to gamble. I go to the casino. I got $50. If I lose that $50, I'm good. I'll go home. It don't matter if it's 10 minutes.
I was so close in that last roll of the dice. No, I'm just playing. But I do. I love to gamble.
How long did you go to school with them for, though?
Well, I'm trying to remember if we knew each other at Gardner. I think so. I think.
What did you say? You said Atwood, though, too.
Yeah, and Atwood. They went to Atwood, too. So
who are you more age related
I think
to?
Richard.
Richard?
Yeah.
My oldest brother?
Yeah.
Why? How old are you?
55. So,
I didn't know that. I thought you were in your 40s.
Thank you.
That's not bad, huh?
Thank you. I graduated from Eastern actually in '84, and Richard must have been in '84 or '83. Somewhere
he's a year older than Mike.
But if they can come into season 2 if they want to get their story out. We're gonna go back to you.
Oh, you want me to come? Shoot, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get them in here.
I'll find one of them.
I was gonna say maybe Robert will.
I think Robert will, because Robert and I crossed paths a lot when he was working with the Runway and doing his fashion brand and stuff like that.
I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff he could talk about. So come out here. I don't know. Give him a call, see what he says.
But let's get back to you. Who you want to give some shout outs to, first of all?
My little ones at home. I'd love to get a shout out to Abriana Jade, Unicio Antonio, Roseanne Marie. Those are my little ones. all Montalvos. They're what keeps me going. I'm a single father. I'm mom and dad at home. I have my kids half the week. Well, I have my little one all week, but that's another story. But yeah, no. I'm 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 so happy to be, able to do all this and still be at home with my kids, still go to work, still pay the bills. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely what keeps me moving. So
And still influence them quite a bit. And I'm thinking,
no doubt about that.
For an example, your 8-year-old daughter, which one is she?
That's Abriana.
What's
Yep.
she doing here soon?
Yep, she's gonna be on September 25th. She will be doing the September, When September Ends event here at the Fledge. That's a children's open mic. Make sure if you don't know anything about it, make sure you ask some questions, find out. It's for kids only. I believe they're paying the kids. I haven't done it yet. This is going to be my first time getting my daughter into it. My daughter sings, so if you have anyone has any kids out there they want to get into it, make sure you contact Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll give you more information about it and get you in contact with the right people. But she's a great singer. She has a great voice. Her being 8, it's a big learning curve for her because I see a lot of me in her, and she has great stage presence. She has a great voice, but it's the attention. It's the attention that's, it's
She
hard
likes
to,
it.
well, when she did the East Side Festival with me, I let her perform a few songs, and I don't know, by song 2, she was, drifting all around, looking all off, kicking the chord on the stage while she's singing, and I'm like, I'm over stop, just look, pay attention. But once she gets through that, she's got a lot of potential to be very successful with music. So
That was at Summerfest?
Yep, that was right over at the East Side.
Oh, nice.
Yep, and that was her third performance. I took her to perform up in Midland 3 weeks ago, with at the Twin Terror. That was a fundraiser for the Humane Society up in Midland. So she's getting there, but she's got a lot of work to do, and it's hard for Dad because it just every time I try to tell her something, I'm just hounding her. So but once she gets used to being on stage, once she gets used to the crowds, once she gets used to hearing all the other artists and how they act, how they react, she's going to be fine, and I think she'll be very successful in music.
Well, having her schedule kind of packed like that over a couple months.
That's what I'm trying
really
to get her
gonna help
into,
her, right?
so she can see how the shows go, because it doesn't matter whether you rap, it doesn't matter whether you sing, anything like that. First and foremost, you got to network. If you don't network, if you don't learn how to network, you're not gonna probably be successful at all. Life is a lot about who more than what you know. If you can come across the right people and you have the goods, it's only a matter of time. So just always remember that, network with people. It don't matter what people who don't like you think. It don't matter what you, being self-conscious with yourself thinks either. You got to push through that. You got to motivate yourself. You got to find that drive, and that's, I don't want to sit here and act like I've perfected it or I'm even good at it. But, every day when I have bad days, I try to find little things in my day that it's like, all right, let's push through this, because being a single father every day with 3 little kids at home, and you got to be mom and dad, I deal with adversity all day, every day. I mean, there's not one day that I wake up and I don't have to deal with, something that's unscheduled or just unforeseen, you know what I mean? And that's every day. But that also helps when it transitions over into music, when it transitions over into putting together shows, when I have to deal with other artists. I have to deal with little kids all day. So when I get with artists and they throw temper tantrums, because they don't get their way.
The punk rock guys are the worst, man.
Oh, no, I know exactly how. I mean, I deal with rappers, and every rapper thinks they're the hottest thing in the city. So it's like, that stuff I deal, people don't realize that stuff I deal with on a daily basis with my kids at home. So it's like, at my last event on July 24th, I was the DJ, I was the host, I was the headliner, I was the doorman. I I was handing out orders to people, like, and I was doing all of this and still maintained the show, still had a good, clean show. I had artists coming from out of town. I had artists from Kazoo. I had artists from Jackson. I had artists from Grand Rapids. I had another one from Detroit. He didn't make it. But again, you get all those people together, and if you're able to throw a successful event like that, and do it by yourself, that shows that, I can handle my shit. So, you know what I mean?
Well, let's go way back.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I kind of got into
No, it's all
the
right.
motivation
I think it
thing.
all flowed. It was all there. And like I always tell the guests, it's your show, but I'm gonna make you say some things.
And I appreciate the opportunity. I just want to let everybody know that I appreciate that.
Well, you came in a little late this morning. I mean, we had talked before or been, I don't know, we got a lot of friends in common, but it was only really a few days ago that we met.
Yeah,
and I can't even believe that.
I was actually just taking the tour here yesterday. Erica, I don't want to butcher her last name. Is it Munbat? Munbat.
Munchbach.
What is it?
Munchbach, but she'll pronounce it different because it's a German. Munchbach.
Why I got the opportunity, I want to thank her just for even, introducing me to you, introducing me to the Fledge, and anything that I'm gonna able to accomplish, is because of her giving me an opportunity and, you know what I mean, presenting me with the event that's coming up on the 25th.
So shout out to Erica too.
Absolutely, shout out to Erica.
So let's get to you though. I think I gave it away a little bit, but where were you born and raised? Where'd you go to school?
I was born right here, a block away over at Sparrow. Early on, I went to Atwood, like we talked about. Then I went to Waverly, and then I went to LCC. So I didn't graduate college, but at least I got some.
Yeah, but what'd you study at LCC?
Music production.
Oh, nice.
Yep, music production. And
come on, let's finish that up, man.
That's kind of how I got into it. But I knew what I had at rapping just because, when I was younger, me and the homeboys always used to rap, in the car and out at lunch at school. You know what I'm saying? It's what we do on the weekends. And then, I don't know, gradually I just kind of noticed I had a gift. I was able to gain people's attention. So that's kind of how it got me started into it. And then I grew and grew. And, that's like I just talked about a minute ago, I just found ways to motivate myself to continue doing it. And now I've done quite a bit with rap. So
do you think that you always kind of knew or wanted to be a rapper?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
What'd you want to be when you was a kid?
No. I didn't want to be a rapper when I was a kid. I didn't like I said, it was a talent that I realized I had when I was a teenager because, we would all get to freestyling and, just doing stupid stuff at parties and stuff, but again, I realized that, when I would speak or what I would say, people would pay attention. And that's kind of what made me continue doing it. And then when I dropped my first album, I've sold like over 500 copies. I don't know the exact number, but it's over 500 copies.
Nice.
But it's all been hand to hand. So at different bars, different events. So, but I sell at every show, and that's what motivates me to continue doing this because I know if I can sell 500 copies, there's no reason with promotion, with the right people behind me, with the right vision behind me, not just my vision, but, with, like I said, getting the right management and all that type of stuff. I know I can sell 1 million copies and I know I can be successful. I've already been successful. I mean, there's no way I could sit here and say that I'm not successful. I've done everything in the city that I could do. I've outsold at least 90% of the artists.
Let me pull you back a little bit for a minute. When you were, so there's at least 3 big aspects to being a rapper, right? You got to have the right beats, you got to have the right sound and the right, I don't know, just the right flow, I guess. And then you got to have good lyrics, right? Do you do all 3 of those?
I would say, well,
or is there more?
Lyrics and sound, I would have to say, go together. But the third big thing, you're right there though. It would be stage presence.
All right.
And that's what a lot of artists forget is like, because everybody wants to sound good on the radio and all that stuff, but nobody really no, I don't want to say nobody. A lot of artists don't seem to think about what they look like when they're rapping, and people forget when you go to shows and stuff, you're just like with any business, you're your brand, and you want people to feel your brand. You want people to understand it. You want people to, to know what you want to do with it, so your stage presence and all that is tied into that, because you're giving yourself away. You're selling yourself, and you're selling yourself to the music, basically. And a lot of people don't seem to buy into that. They believe in their music. They believe in, what they're doing. But, when they get up on stage, you can see it in a lot of people's faces and the way they stand, not confident in themselves. There's just a lot of it's in the details. You said something about details yesterday, and that's what it comes down to. It's all in the details.
And it's the practice, right? Like what you're doing for your daughter, that's going to be invaluable.
Repetition. That's exactly what it is.
And making those mistakes, unplugging your mic accidentally. You'll never do that again, right?
Absolutely not.
So
no, but yeah, with that, it's just it's important to take your craft serious. I know it's hard when you get around your friends and stuff, and it's cool when you can impress your 10, 15, 20 friends, that you see every day. They think they're big, and then they think you're big, and then you go somewhere else and you realize, hey, I'm not exactly that good, or we're not that good. And sometimes it's people are just hard-headed, and it takes them lessons, like you just said, takes them mistakes, it's to learn that lesson. So
I was a wrestler for a pretty long time, growing up and all that. And we always had a phrase: if you're the best one in the room, you got to find a new room. Do you have a similar phrase in rap? Like, if you're the best guy coming to the Fledge,
I do, but the problem with that mindset in rap is, it can come off as cocky or arrogant. You know what I mean? Wrestling's different, but like when you get up on stage and you have to talk and you have to perform, it's easy to come off arrogant when you go in a room and you like.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, do you find yourself outgrowing Lansing and have to get to Detroit or Grand Rapids or some bigger market?
The thing about me is I'm known in Grand Rapids. I'm known in Detroit. I could sit here and name drop plenty of people. Ken Brass in Detroit, DJ Word, DJ Prodigy in Grand Rapids. All
right, so we're talking bigger.
EDH out in Cleveland,
New York.
I've been a lot of places, and I've felt. Lansing's not that big to begin with, and again, it's hard for artists when they're in their city to feel that way, because when you're big in your city, you feel like you're on top of the world. A lot of people don't get out of town. A lot of people, they talk a lot, but they don't. A lot of people don't travel. A lot of people don't go visit different places. So when you're big in your city, it gives you kind of a big head. So you got to get out there. You got to network. You got to humble yourself. You got to humble yourself. There's no doubt in my mind when I walk in the room, I'm confident in myself. I don't look at other people and be like, I bet you I'm better than him. I bet you I'm better than him. And even if I am, that's got nothing to do with me personally. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I dwell on, because I don't think I'm better than someone. I know I'm not better than anybody. So it's like, I just know what I'm good at. And that's what it's about. Be confident. Be confident in yourself. Be confident in what you're doing. When you step up on stage, when you're doing your songs, don't dwell on what you look like, what all these other people think you look like out there. Like, just don't care. You're coming up. You have a job to do. So when you get on that stage, do your job, and do it to the best of your ability.
Do you? What do you think about? Man, I don't want to get into this yet. I want to keep rewinding for a moment. So you and I talked about, I guess, an obstacle that you've had to overcome with your voice, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I do.
Was it a big obstacle, or was it just something?
I want to talk. Oh man, we're gonna have to get deep on this one now.
Let's get deep.
Let me get. Oh shit! I almost dropped my drink.
Don't drop.
This is actually a subject I've never actually had a chance to talk about. I'm all over Facebook. I promote my music everywhere. I don't think I've ever literally had a conversation, at least, especially not to a live audience, about my surgeries that I've had on my throat. When I was born a month early. I was premature, and I had caught a. I was a baby, so I wasn't there, but I was there, but I wasn't conscious. I caught some kind of infection in my throat, like a week after I was born. It swelled up right here, and I couldn't breathe. So the only choice was to cut do a tracheotomy, which is the procedure. They basically take a tube, they put it down into your lungs, they cut it right here, right on your esophagus, and it goes straight down into your lungs. And they can also feed you through it as well. It goes to your stomach as well. So I was hooked up to that. I actually had 3 tracheotomies. I was in and out of the hospital. I had my last trach taken out when I was 2 years old. So first 2 years of my life, I spent a majority was in the hospital. And I had to breathe through a tube. I had to eat through a tube. So doctors never thought I was ever going to even have a voice. And a lot of people don't understand, they come up to me, they're like, why do you rap? You're 34. Why do you even want to do this? Everybody else quits, and it's like, I'm so happy just to have a voice. Doctors said I was never going to speak. And they said, even if I had, started speaking, that my words were going to be jumbled. I was going to be like dyslexic, or just maybe not even sound right at all, and that's honestly what they thought was going to happen. But, somehow, some way, through all 3 of them, I have a bunch, you can see the different scars on there, but through all 3 of them, my body healed up, and I was able to play sports. I played football for 5 years, played baseball from the time I was 6 to my freshman year. So, it's to even be able to do all that, and to be as unhealthy as I was when I was a baby, to go through what I had to go through while everybody else was learning to, why everyone else was outside having fun, playing, yelling, screaming, learning to talk, learning to socialize, that type of stuff. I was in a hospital. I was hooked up to machines, breathing machines, feeding machines, and people don't realize that when they look at me, and that's cool, but everybody sees the scars on my neck, and either they'll ask me, like, hey, what happened? Or, most people are just too scared. I can see them looking at it, but at this point, it doesn't bother me. When I was younger in school, that's when it bothered me. It definitely affected me, having friends, relationships with women. It's, when you have something like this, it makes you weird just because, you know what I mean? And that's all, again, that's just adversity. It's all stuff you have to work through. And now that I'm older, it's like, all of it was worth it. Like, I'm no one big as far as rapping, but as in my city, like I said, I've outsold 90% of the artists. I've performed on every big stage in my city. I've thrown shows. My last 2 shows were at capacity. I pay out my top artists, my top performers at the end of the night. I get to headline my shows. I've grown so much. I've sold over 500 copies of my album, and these are things that, a lot of artists say they do, but let me tell you like this. In the last year, I've done probably 40 to 50 shows. Out of those 40 or 50 shows, I have sold, except for the last 2, because I ran out of merchandise to sell. But before that, I have sold at every single show. And I don't care if it's 1 copy. I don't care if it's 10 copies. That doesn't matter, because if I'm on all these different shows, and all these different shows have 25, 30 artists, none of them are selling. They'll perform and then they'll leave. And they all do it. I'll perform. I'll come off stage. I'll walk around the crowd. You want to buy a CD? You want to buy a CD? You want to buy a CD? And I've seen it so many times. It's like, I'm the only artist doing that, and that in itself is a gift, whether people believe it or
See,
not.
I love it when you guys do that because I've bought CDs all over the world where I've been at shows and kids or the young performers have been. I used to travel a lot, so anytime I was in Atlanta, I'd go find a club that had a rap show and buy CDs in the parking lot.
I guess I haven't even asked you this. You like rap? Are you into rap? I mean,
I love rap.
Yeah, I know.
I have a history with rap that goes back to when I was a
You
little
rap?
kid. No.
You and
always trying
Mikey
to
had
get- Yeah.
You and Mikey had it locked up at Gardner.
Yeah, we had a Mr. Microphone. We were doing Rapper's Delight every day.
Oh my God.
No, but I was one of the best dancers in Lansing in the 70s
What, like
and 80s.
like breakdancers?
Well, we were B-boys back then because it was a little bit before breakdancing.
Let's go get the cardboard box.
Huh?
Let's set it up right here.
I'll do the frontward moonwalk. I'll jump through my leg.
Oh, man.
I'll fall down on my.
He's not
my
gonna
knee
make it
bend.
home tonight.
I probably won't. Probably hurt my
B-day.
knee. Let's TikTok it though. So if I get hurt, it'll be
Dude.
funny.
You don't want your wait until tomorrow's show because tomorrow's the last. Then you'll have a few months to recover.
I TikToked me falling off a skateboard the other day, so that was good.
Oh, you skateboard too?
Yeah. Well,
Used to.
watch my video.
Hey,
and
old
you be
Tony
the
Hawk
judge.
over here.
No, way before him. So, all right, man, you're gonna take me on all kinds of
Yeah,
tangents.
no,
I
I'm
like
sorry.
it.
Back
I
back
like
to.
it.
But anyways,
I want to talk about rap in Lansing
well,
from
let's
a
talk about it.
couple different perspectives.
Okay.
Because we've got, we have these factions, I guess. It's kind of chopped up a little bit, whether it's a north side, east side, south side thing, or whether it's, you've got the guys that just will rap about anything, right? And they're swearing and they're talking about violence and they're talking about drugs and whatever. There's that. And then you've got, the Christian rappers and the clean rappers and the rappers with the positive message all the time.
Mhm.
And they seem to not mix very often. And I don't think they appreciate each other as much as they probably should.
To that point, it's not. Been doing this a long time, and it's not so much a north side, east side, south side, west side thing. It's more of like I don't know what we were talking about earlier, but I touched on it. It's a lot of that type of stuff is, when you get groups of people who, they want to be hard, they want to be gangsters, they want to do stuff like that. They're not, a lot of people who are doing it for an image or, doing it to be cool, they don't get the same thing out of it as people who, like you said, are tied into it through faith or Christian rap, religious rap, all that type of stuff. It's their outlook on it is different, because a lot of people in the hood when they come do shows and stuff, it's or at least the people who are trying to act hard. It's about showing off, and it's about who's the coolest. It's not that when your mindset's like that, you're not thinking about talent. You're not thinking about how good the Christian rapper can rap. You're not listening to his lyrics, so you're not gonna feel it. You're not gonna buy into it if you're not there for that. And that's hard. That's hard to get people, to come together and, be respectful like that. And that's why we've had so many venues shut down in Lansing. Man, there's just countless venues. Fahrenheit. I mean, all of them are shut down now when you think about it.
Not all of them. One's open.
Besides
right
the Fledge, I'm very sorry. You are
and
absolutely
I'll never
right.
shut down just because it's rap. I'll never shut down because
No,
I think,
it's not
Well, it
because
can
of
be,
rap. It's
though.
just because the violent.
Yeah.
A lot of these clubs aren't shutting down because it's hip hop. It's just because violence has. Someone gets shot.
but
Someone
some
gets
of
killed.
them create big, huge barriers. Like it might cost you $800 in just a deposit or insurance.
Oh,
or
you're talking
stuff
about
like
just to
Talking
just
about
to-
Land Shark or whatever.
ensure the
I don't
actual
mean to
event.
come at them, but
No. I mean but that's how it is everywhere with rap. You know what I mean? You got to be.
But not here.
You got to
That's
be,
what I'm going to keep saying that.
and that's
I
good.
support it.
But you know what? That's a good mindset. But you got to be prepared. You know, because you can't control everybody.
Mhm.
You know, you always want to have good events. I mean, I don't think there's any promoter that's ever thrown an event
That
was
they
like,
wanted it to get shot up.
let's get this shut down tonight. But you know, you can't control people, and the best thing that you know artists and even people who aren't artists to do is to show up and just be respectful. You know, even if even if you don't agree with what they're saying, if you don't agree with how they look, even if you don't like them, whatever the case may be, you know, you gotta be an adult about the situation. You gotta be respectful. You gotta be mindful. Respect others how you want to be respected. You know, because a lot of people don't realize that karma comes back to you. Doesn't matter whether you're religious or not. It doesn't matter, you know, who you believe in, what you believe in. Karma is real. You know, you do bad. You do bad. If you want bad for people, you're gonna get bad in return, and it's gonna come in different ways. So just always keep that in mind. Be respectful when you go to events. You know, it's what it's about, is to show love. You know, or if you're the one performing, you're gonna want the love. So network. You know what I mean? Shake somebody's hand. Say hi. You know, you ain't gotta be nobody's friend. Just be respectful. You know.
I, if I'd have thought through my earlier question, like where you mentioned stage presence, I kind of left that out for a minute, but I mean, you're exactly right. I would still probably keep the way that they flow and their lyrics a little bit different, because I'm sure I could write good lyrics, but not
But flow,
flow.
the delivery,
Yeah.
the delivery.
And so I'd have to give it to you to maybe make that work or something like
Yeah.
that. But when I meet a new rapper and I'm listening to them or I'm talking to them, I'm looking for, are they still downloading beats from YouTube that they don't even own and just rapping over that? Or are they trying to make their own beats? Do they have a producer? Are they starting to think about the future? Or are they just trying to,
Just trying to rap.
whatever they're doing that night, whether it's impress a girl, impress their friends, talk about. And then I do look at, what are they talking about? Is it just Percocet guns and Bitcoin, or is it a message? It can have those things in it, but is there a message about it? And then I look at the kids sometimes and think, you're from Okemos and you're rapping about this? I don't think so. But maybe if you're three houses down, then yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So to me, I think there's a place on that continuum for everybody. Not if you're taking it seriously.
But to that same degree, like you just said, whether it's the kid from Okemos, whether it's the kid from down the street, show them the same love, show them the same respect. Again,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Again, it doesn't matter whether you like them. It doesn't matter whether you agree with them. Shit, that kid from Okemos could make you $1 million one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we don't really know what he's.
I mean, if the kid from Okemos is sitting there talking about guns and killing and gangs and shit, that's one thing. But if he's got a good message, if he's, you know what I mean, you can't look for the negative in people just because. You know what I mean? Like that's a bad way to start. Because everybody's gonna teach you a lesson, good or bad. So they don't have to play a big part in your life, but you just always be respectful. It doesn't matter whether they're from Oakland, Okemos, Mason, that type of stuff doesn't matter. If they got a good delivery, if they got a good flow, if they make sense, like there's no reason to be disrespectful. You don't got to listen to them. You ain't got to play this shit, but if you show up to an event and that kid from Okemos is performing, shit, clap for him. Tell him good job. Shake his hand. You know what I mean?
He might be telling a story that's important to him. He might be trying to change something that's important.
And again, maybe that kid won't ever make it as a rapper, but maybe in 10 years he'll own a business and put you on for rapping. You know what I mean? Like there's always positive things to look, in different situations.
Do you get motivated by causes when you're rapping, when you're writing your rap, when you're
As far as what, life?
Well, I mean, you could have a cause against gun violence. You could have a cause against addiction. You could have a cause against poverty. You know, do you look for a cause? Are you telling a story each time?
Well,
Or
I wouldn't say so much as a cause, but in every song I do, I'm always trying to tell a story, like, and not only am I telling a story, I'm always looking for it to be relatable in life. I'm always looking for it to make sense. I never, get a beat and just try to rhyme my fucking words. Like that's not something I do. And again, another thing people don't realize about me, and not that I would expect them to, and I'm sure there's a million other people who can do it too, but I don't. I guarantee you've never seen me with a notebook. You've never seen me write anything on my phone. I memorize my lyrics. I have no notepads. You can go through any of my old phones. I don't have my songs written down, dude. It's all up
you
here.
don't even write them down, the original?
No.
You just start building
All of
them
them.
and rap them
All
and
of them.
build on
I
it,
swear,
build on it?
I swear to God on my
Okay.
kids. I've
All
never written one lyric down. If I had, it was when I was like 15. And the reason I had to stop was because my mind was working faster than my pen. I could not keep up with the writing. I could make a song in my head before I could make a song trying to write it down. And I don't know if that makes sense to you, but
it does make sense.
the way I'm able to create songs is repetition. I'll put on a beat and I will play that beat for 10 hours. I mean, over and over and over again. I will start, depending on how the beat starts. If it starts with the hook first, I'll work on my hook. Boom, knock the hook out. I'll do the hook for 2-3 hours till I get it down. Then I'll start into the verse. Then, just go every probably 2 to 4 bars, until the whole verse is complete, then into the hook again. And that whole time, I'm looking for ways to make it make sense. And again, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I do it, because I don't write. It's all from here and from here. So for me to be telling a story, like everything has a message, everything, has a cause in my lyrics, because everything I say is a part of my life in one way or another. So, that's what I try to do.
I love that you explained that process.
I try.
Thank you very much.
It's hard. Yeah, I was.
So
try to break it down.
I want to talk about race in rapping for a second.
Okay.
I implied, I don't know if I said it was a white kid from Okemos, but I certainly implied
No,
it,
I
right?
understand what you were saying.
And, I see all races of rappers here. But do you think that being, you guys are Mexican, right? Do
I'm
you
Mexican
think
and
that being,
white.
a Mexican rapper
Yep.
is different for you to get support and to break in?
It's
than
crazy.
black
It's
or
crazy you ask. It's crazy you're like asking this question, because it's honestly something that it bothers me. Bothers me a lot, because if you follow me, if you follow my Facebook, my IG, you know I've been everywhere. I mean, I've done Brooklyn, I've done Queens, I've done north side of Chicago. I mean, 2 blocks from Wrigley Field, I took second in a rap competition. I mean, I've done from the hood to the woods, all right? And let me tell you like this. Anytime I have ever gone into the hood, I don't even get respected, or even half the time I don't even get talked to until I'm done rapping, until I'm coming off stage. And it's like, oh shit, this dude's for real, And a lot of that is just because of how I look. When I did Brooklyn, when I did Queens, I'm the only non-black person in there, and they don't care whether I'm Mexican, white. It's everybody. I'm just some white boy. You know what I mean? And it's hard with race, because, like you touched on earlier when you were talking about the kid from 2 blocks away and then the white kid from Okemos, like, people, you got to stop looking at it like that. Like, you really do. Like, I mean, it's one thing if the dude from Okemos is trying to act hard and trying to throw up gang signs and dumb shit like that. I mean, that's one thing, to be sitting there trying to puff out your chest. But just because someone's white and they rap, just because they live somewhere you don't, and they rap or they do something you don't, it doesn't make them weak. It doesn't make them stupid. It doesn't make them, that's the problem, because, that's the problem. And that's actually a blessing in disguise for me, because it's beautiful how my music can change people's opinion or view of me. And I say that because I've done it so many times. Like I mean, so many times. I mean, just count almost every show. Like almost every show, I have literally changed people who are mean mugging me. Shit, probably want to rob me, before I rap. And then at the end, shit, I got my contact info. We're doing shows together. Like it's a beautiful thing that you can change people like that. And that's another reason why I do music, because it's a gift to be able to touch people like that. People who are just so hard and, every day. And I understand, dude. Like my life is hard. I promise you. I promise you every day I get up. It's hard. I have so much shit to deal with, but I don't go out there looking for problems. You go look for trouble, it's going to find you sooner or later. And if it doesn't find you, it's going to find the people you love. And that's the most realest shit. It really is. Just always keep that in mind, dude. The worse you are towards people, the worse it's going to come back to you. And it doesn't matter if it's you or your family, but it will come. Maybe in the form of depression, maybe in the form of, going to jail, maybe in the form of, someone dying. Like it comes back to you, so forget white and black. Like that's the problem. And again, you don't have to fucking hang out with Kenny from Okemos. You know what I mean? Kenny from Okemos, you don't have to hang out. No, I'm just saying you don't have to hang out with Darnell from the hood. I'm just saying, like you got to be respectful, like right off the bat, like for real. Again, if someone's being disrespectful towards you, that changes things a little bit. But when people are minding their own business, because I'm good at that. I'll go in a room, I'll go to a bar, I'll sit there. I won't say shit to anybody until I go to perform. And then when I'm done performing, I'll go talk to everybody, because that's when everybody's open to talking, but again, don't look to be disrespectful. It's if you guys got your gangs, you guys got your factions, your side of town you hang out with, that's cool. But, we're all human at the end of the day. Nobody's perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect. So just be respectful. And that's the best you can be. Be how you would want someone to treat your kids,
Do you think that, if I'm black right now and listening to this, there is a cultural appropriation, right? There's, white kids trying to get in on hip hop and trying to exploit it and trying to do things that it would seem more fair that the people who started hip hop, the people who have maybe been involved with it more. What would your response to that be?
My response to that would be, that's not a fair way to look at it. That's a terrible way to look at it, because so much bullshit gets passed around on Facebook, on IG, all these different social medias between white and black. It's doing nothing but creating a rift between white and black people. Honestly, social media has done nothing but build up this secret fucking hate or this secret envy, and it's retarded. Like, for you to say that to me, like white kids take me for example. I'm not some hood ass, ratchet ass, dude trying to act hard. I've never tried to act or be something I'm not. I literally have grown up around the same people that you have. If you're black, if you're, if you're Mexican, if you're white, a lot of people don't realize, if we've grown up in all the same places, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would make it any different if I was successful at doing something we've all been doing since we were little? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're hating on me because of that, then you're just mad. Because shit. How could you, if someone's from the city or from their city, you know what I mean, and your only reason to hate on them is because they're not the same color as you, or they didn't grow up in your hood, or they didn't, grow up with your friends, whatever the case may be, then that's that's more of jealousy or envy. You know what I mean? I would never look at somebody's color and be like, oh, he's acting like this, or they're acting like, they're white people or black people. Like that's dumb shit. It's childish. It really is. People have gifts. You know what I'm saying? And they should be allowed to share those gifts. Now, if you're speaking on like a vanilla ice type of deal where, you know what I mean?
bit.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're speaking on like where someone's who never was a rapper, never grew up around that stuff, and then, you know what I mean, was an entertainer and then introduced to rap and then was rapping and making money, that's a completely different thing. But that's also the problem, is people get that mindset that that's how it is. That's how, because, when they see a lot of other white people rap, like that's not the case, dude. These people grew up in the same fucking streets you did. Like, it doesn't, so who cares, if we didn't grow up in the same house? I've lived with my black friends. I've had my black friends live with me when I was younger. There's no, that it just doesn't make sense. And in some cases, it just doesn't make sense. In a lot of cases, it doesn't make sense. There are cases like I said, like the Vanilla Ice type of shit where people are trying to act like, but that's a completely different thing. But the main thought shouldn't be, oh, they're trying to act like something they're not. Like, you guys got to get out of that. People have got to get out of that mindset completely. Show love to people. Like, for real, there's no reason to hate on people just when you first see them.
Hey, I got to ask you a logistic thing real quick. You got to pick up your kids, right?
Huh?
You got to pick up your kids sometime?
No. My kids went to school from my house this morning. They took the bus from my house, and then their mom picks them up. Then I get them off the bus tomorrow at my house.
We're good.
Yeah.
I was getting worried about the time a little bit. But let's get to some promotion. You're doing shows. You got a release coming out. You got all kinds of stuff happening, right?
Yep. First thing we'll touch on is let's touch on the October 15th show. We're gonna be doing it's gonna be called The Fallback at the Fledge, and that's gonna be October 15th. It's gonna be BYOB. So if you like to drink, make sure you bring your own shit.
If you're the proper age.
Yes. We're gonna be checking IDs at the door. So make sure you have your IDs. If you don't have your IDs, you're not getting in. Make sure you have masks as well. You think we should have them wear masks like the whole time, or
we got to check it out and see. But
I was gonna say, but
bring your mask. We got masks.
Yeah,
we'll make it safe.
Just to be safe. We'll have more details about that. When we get closer to the show, but definitely be on the lookout for it. I'm gonna be paying out the top artists at the end of the night. I'm still working on how much I'm gonna charge for admission. We just put this together yesterday, so bear with me, on the details. I'll have them in the next few days. I have a flyer up, but it's gonna be a great event. They got the stage behind us, I'm sure you can see. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Artists, if you're interested, come out. I'll be charging for a slot fee, but again, I'll be paying out at the end of the night for best performance. So I'll be judging. Plus, I'll have at least another 2 people, judging as well in the crowd, that aren't necessarily friends of mine. Just, that way it's a different perspective. And I'll also let the crowd in the building decide. So that way, fair is fair. Whoever everybody agrees the best artist, they'll get the money. So that's the way we'll do it. We'll keep it cordial like that. So
that's good.
Yes, sir. And
then you got a release. Yes,
I do. Be on the lookout for my album Humbled. That's gonna be dropping. I want to get it out before Christmas, but I gotta make sure it's done right, because I planned my first album, I didn't do the right way, and this one I plan to have it up on every streaming platform. I plan to actually be able to promote it the right way, and it's gonna take me time, and I'm gonna make sure that I have everything done the way I need it to be, because I need my brand to be up here with the second album, because my music is up here.
So what do you think your biggest I don't even know if it was a mistake. Let's say the biggest lesson you learned from your first album
That's easy.
was.
Not doing it the right way.
But what's that mean?
Just like earlier you touched on downloading beats off YouTube
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Now that's where I went wrong with my first album. A lot, I'd have to say at least half of the beats on there, I just downloaded. They got the tags on them still, and then the other half of them I actually leased. But the problem with that was I didn't know, how much that was gonna. I didn't know how successful I was gonna be at rapping. Number one, so that was definitely the first lesson I learned. But just my music's so good. I'm like, if you have a copy of my first album, you know how good that is. And I don't have to sit here and talk it up.
How could we get a copy of that first album?
I actually probably got one in the car, but I just don't. I don't have a bunch, so I don't have any for sale.
You don't have any downloads or anything like that?
Yeah, you can download it at DatPiff. It's free to download.
What is it?
It's JMO, and then Perfect Timing is the name of the album, and DatPiff is the website. But again, the biggest lesson is not learning.
I don't know how to spell DatPiff.
DATPIFF.
.com?
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, no. The biggest lesson I've learned was you got to be professional in everything. Like it's like before I dropped my first album, I knew how good I was at rapping. I knew how good my stage presence was. I knew the gift I had, but I definitely lacked the business sense. And again, I wouldn't even say I'm all the way there yet. I'm still learning, but now I have a direction. Now I have a goal. Now I have a clearer vision of what I want to do with myself, with my music. And I feel the biggest lesson literally is just, not capitalizing on how good my music was with my first album, not purchasing those beats, not making $1 million off my first one. And now I have to, you know what I mean? Reset. I mean, my second album is going to be.
How many you want to sell on the second album? What's a good goal?
Well, it's going to be different. This one's going to be streamed. So as far as calculate, I want to do 1 million.
1 million?
Yes.
All right.
Look, again, I know I said it already, but if I can sell 500 copies of my album, no promotion, no team, nobody behind me, just me going in and out of state, bar to bar, club to club, event to event, just networking and networking and networking. If I could sell 500 copies, and yeah, it's taken me 4 or 5 years, but if I can do that by myself, what can I do when I get promoted? What can I do when my face is everywhere? What can I do when my image is everywhere, my sound, my brand? That's 1 million easy. There's no question.
I'm sure I can help you sell 4 or 5 with this show.
But and
Rivers are made with drops of water.
Right? And what?
Rivers are made with drops of water.
Absolutely.
You get to 1 million one at a time.
Boy, that makes more sense than you think it does, because that's what this journey's felt like. All these shows, all these different little things I've done, little droplets of water, and now look, I got this nice flow. I can get anywhere I want, especially in my city. But the ultimate goal is to be successful, not just for me, but for my kids, to allow my kids to be successful, to show them that they can do something they love and be successful. You see, I've had a lot of my family turn their back on me because of who I am and what I do. And, they can say they don't, but, where are they at my shows? How is it I can pack a venue? And the only one that shows up is my sister. I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters. I have 1 sister that shows up, and it's things like that. So, it's the small droplets of water. It definitely creates a river. And I just want to show my kids that, you can live a good life. You don't have to be stuck at some fucking factory killing your back. You don't have to be stuck at some prison fucking killing your mental state. And then when you get older, you don't have no mind left. A message. But Seriously, I just want to show my kids you can be successful doing something that you're passionate about, something that you love, and I promise you, I started with nothing. I don't get help from nobody. I mean, literally. I pay my own bills, I go to work, I make my own money, shit. I hustle, I do what I gotta do for my babies.
What would you say you do every damn day to push this forward? And maybe it's in two spots, one with your kids and one with
What
your
do I
music, or maybe it's all one mission.
I adjust. I adjust.
Nice answer.
And if you don't understand what I'm saying about that, it's my situation is my situation, but I got it good compared to a lot of other people's situations, and I realize that every day. So that also helps motivate me, but you have to adjust. You got to be ready to adjust because life changes on a turn of a dime. I don't know how the fuck the saying is, but life can change quick. And I've had the closest people, the closest people ever do me the dirtiest. And I'm still working my way through that shit, but again, you have to find ways to get through that. But with everything in life, you have to be ready to adjust. And I try my best every day to do that, and I try to teach my kids that as well, that there's going to be challenges that you face every day, and the only way you're going to thrive is to work through that shit. If not, you're just gonna bottle up. You're gonna be stuck in one spot, and that's that's something that I try to keep in mind. So
I think that should be highlighted as one of the best responses to what do you do every damn day, because it's a great word that you use, because a lot of people will say pivot and all this other shit.
no,
But
adjust. Honestly, that's what I think of. That's what comes to mind. When you ask me, because that's what I deal with every
Keeps
day.
you agile, it keeps
Like,
you
for
fast,
real.
it keeps
Yes,
the pig
yes.
from eating you.
I have ADHD, so I always gotta be moving. I always gotta be, that's why I deliver. That's what I do for work. I deliver. I've been delivering for 11 years. I make money. I got 2 cars. I got my own place. People ask me, why you still work? Why you still deliver? Why don't you go do this and do that? And it's like, I love having a job where I can make money. I can be with my family. I can do what I love to do, what I'm passionate about. And you know what? It's worked for me. It always has. And what works for me doesn't work for other people. So
I just real quick, Jace Hargraves, he's in over by London. He's in the UK.
okay.
And he said, yeah, just in order to embrace that change, he loves it. So
Thank
we like
you.
what you're saying there.
Thank you.
We daisy chain these shows together. Yesterday, I had a lady named Lauren. She's with Aspire Relationship Education. And her question is, what's one childhood memory? And I think she wanted it to be positive, but whatever you want, that you think about often.
Being having to take ADHD medicine, Ritalin, Adderall. That stuff sits with me all the time because how do I want to explain this? That stuff sits with me because I always hated it, and it always made me feel weird every day. I had to take Ritalin from the time I was 6 years old to the time I purposely quit taking it when I was like 14. I had to take it every day before I went to school. And honestly, it's the closest thing I can compare to drugs, to drugs, to street drugs, nowadays. So it kind of boggles me that kids like I don't make my kids take pills. Like it's deterred me away from ever, unless my kids are like actually need it, you know what I mean? I would never force any kind of like mind altering.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you.
I remember days where I would go without eating, you know what I mean? And this is absolutely no knock to my parents whatsoever. Let me make that clear. I'm not saying this disrespectfully to my family because they were only trying to do what's best. So let me make that clear. But again, That's, you asked me that question. That's what I think about, dude. All the
But-
times I was high when I was little.
I mean, to be fair to your parents too, you got these doctors that's their go-to.
No, and
They're
that's
getting
what
paid
it is,
out
you
and
know.
all that bullshit.
And that's what it is. My parents didn't know no better. They're doing what the doctors are prescribing, and they only want the best for the kids. So I understand. So again, this is no knock on my parents, but when you ask me about childhood memory and shit, I remember being zoned out all the damn time in school.
See, I believe, and I don't know what you think, so I want to know. I believe that contributes to our
Drug use.
opioid problems
Yes.
right now, our overdoses, everything that's
It most
happening.
certainly does. But the government ain't gonna tell you that. I don't know why. We're all guinea pigs. We're making them money. So that type of information doesn't get around. And if it does, it doesn't go very far because of that fact. There's no money. People don't realize there's no money in healing people. Why do you think they haven't? You think they couldn't find a cure to all the diseases they've had the last 50 years, or even COVID? You don't think they're sitting here milking the shit out of this? Like, it's about money. And but again, that's mental health is becoming a bigger issue nowadays than it was 20, 30 years ago. People didn't think about what do pills do to kids, but
I want to go back to what you were saying about the cures and all of that.
okay.
I have some thoughts on it, and I 100% agree with you from a system perspective. But I do think there's people out there trying to cure these things, and they're getting shut down. They're getting things.
There's
and I
no
think
doubt
you
about
probably
that,
mean
but
too. Yeah.
but I mean the problem is, like, I don't like to call myself a conspiracy theorist, just because people who believe in that type of stuff, they can get a little excessive, like the world being flat and that type of shit. Like, the fuck does it matter if the world's flat or round? That has nothing to do with my everyday life. That has nothing to do with the wealth or health of my kids. It's that type of stuff. So I don't like to be, but there's, in my mind, and I'm sure it's real, I just, I'm not a part of it. There's something's running this whole thing, the whole world, because it's all about money. I don't know which country, I don't know who, I don't know if there's members from each country that run one big organization. But the simple fact is, it's all one big system. You can tell because you look at countries who try to do something different, and then all of a sudden they're terrorists. All of a sudden they're the worst people. They're gonna come over here and kill everybody, and that's you can tell that they try to paint with pictures of people that aren't true, of cultures that aren't true. And again, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but somebody's running this shit. So, you know what I mean?
Well,
Somebody's running this shit show.
I think it's more corporations and capitalists
Exactly.
than it is countries, and I think it's more subtle than 20 white guys getting together and making decisions. I think it's
I don't think it's any one race. I think there's,
or
like
whatever.
you just said,
20, yeah.
like you just said, corporations. Nowadays it just comes down to money. It comes down to what you own. It's the little people like us. We're in the bigger picture, we don't matter. Like, why do you think they make us go to work 40 hours a day? Why do you think they make you work 8 hours a day? In the morning you have to separate from your kid. You don't get to see them all day. They don't get to see you. And when you do this continuously for years,
it's a super important statement.
no, listen, when you do this for years at a time, when you're separated from your kids, and all of a sudden they're adults and they hate you. You didn't do enough for them, and the whole time you're sitting here doing everything you fucking possibly can, to help them thrive and survive. I've seen it time and time again. This isn't just a personal, thing for me. I mean, you see it everywhere. People are so disconnected from families, but it's all planned. If you do not think that this is by choosing, by somebody's doing, then you're crazy. Humans were not naturally made to wake up, go to work 8 hours a day, do something they absolutely hate their life, can't figure out why they can't get nothing right, and then come home and still have to do everything, and you have to have money, and then they don't even pay you enough, because you know why? They want your mind to be stressed. They want you to have all these fears. They want you to not make it, because at the end of the day, if you fear so much, if you're scared every day, if you're just going to be able to be controlled, then guess what? Boom, there's your life. You're just a check, bam. And again, I don't know who's running this shit, but somebody is, and it's all set up. I don't know how far back it goes. I don't know about no Illuminati, all that bullshit. That's all I'm saying is if you can't look at the world and see that this is not the way it's supposed to be. Corporations are not supposed to run your fucking family, dude. Like, they sit here and feed all, like, going back to what I said about taking Ritalin and doing all this shit. You know why I had to do that? Because I had to sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day, which my mind and my body and the way I'm set up internally is not made for that. It is not made for that. And instead of conforming to what you are as a person, they feed you pills. They take away your mind. They get you high and they zone you out all day. Okay, well, he can concentrate now. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. It's the whole thing is set up. It's like one big, oh my God, it's like one big job, like one big machine. It's almost like one big machine, and we're all just little parts in it. So I don't know who's running it, but and I don't know. I doubt in my lifetime that we'll ever see any kind of change, because it's worldwide.
We're making this change.
No, I mean we can
make this.
I mean we can get the word out there, but again, that's only gonna go so far. It takes money. It takes money to get places.
It takes value.
We
got to throw their system out. But anyways, that's a whole different.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can go for another hour about this.
So tomorrow's my last show for at least the time being, and I've got my good friend Cecil. He helps artists and musicians and everyone kind of get the business side straight. He promotes a lot of stuff. What question would you like me to ask Cecil on your behalf? And this is the very last guest question.
What is the thing that he's done, that he's helped? What is the most, oh my God, how do I want to word this? What is the most successful that he thinks he's gotten from helping other artists?
Yeah.
Did I word that right?
Yeah, I mean, what, maybe it's even
what makes him feel successful with helping other artists, or what's the most successful thing he's done or felt that he's done while helping artists, I guess.
Is there something in particular that you're proud, because you help as a promoter?
Well, no,
or someone that
what does he feel, person? What makes him satisfied with what he does, I guess.
Well, let me flip that on you. Is there a particular artist that you've helped, or a thing that you've done, or a collection of ideas? What makes you
help
proud?
Artists? Yeah, there is. I'd have to say putting together, especially with my last two showcases, just putting people in a position to win, giving them a platform to have their voices heard, to be seen. I know. Again, it's about your outlook. It's you got to look at things the right way. You got to have a positive mindset. I'm someone, I can go into a show, there could be 6 people there, and I'll still make something happen, because that's what you do with opportunities. So, but the way I see it is, providing a platform for people to be heard and to be seen. It doesn't, I'm not some big superstar, but again, it feels good to help somebody along, because that's how I feel, when I get stuck on stuff, or if I'm in a position where I need a hand, or I need, somebody's advice, anything like that, or, a show, an opportunity, you know what I mean? It feels good to be able to provide opportunities for other people and their families, because even one night at a small club can bring a lot of joy to someone, it creates memories, between, you don't know what's going on with the group of people over in the corner drinking with their family. Maybe they got their cousins and moms they ain't seen in forever. You don't know, but it's in the details.
See, that's funny you said that, because my wife and I, we went on our very first date 26 years ago last night.
Uh-huh.
And we went to a place in East Lansing. Then we went out to Spirals, and it wasn't hopping. It was just they were playing the music. There was probably somebody on stage performing, and there was something.
So it wasn't anything in particular, but it was all the little details of the night, right?
But something special was happening still, and
but
whoever that was.
But see the excitement. See the excitement in
were.
his face, though. Look, even after 26 years. Just, I mean, it's little things like that. That's what I would say that the most, pleasure I've gotten out of helping other people is just helping them create memories, giving them opportunities, not just at my show, but to network with other artists to get out, because that's what it's about. If I can bring 50 people together, you don't know what those other 50 people are doing. Like I said, I can go into a show with 5-10 people there. Guess what? I'll introduce myself to one of those people who have another show coming up. Boom, they'll have 200 people at their show. Then go to that show. Boom, get another show by introducing myself to people at their show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it comes down to is to be able to create opportunities is a good feeling. It really is.
So this is a rhetorical question, I guess. That and I got distracted with people. People like what you're saying, by the way.
Thank you.
You ever going to be pissed if someone you help blows up in front of you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because if that's, I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church. I don't want to get into the argument, but I'm not a big believer in the whole Bible and all that shit. Like they're just stories to me. And, y'all might take offense to it, and it is what it is, but I'm a realist. I believe what I can see in front of my face, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought that would be rhetorical, because I don't think you're like that, right? You wouldn't be trying to pull someone down, but I'm with you.
The people who are successful are usually hard workers. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who have made it just because of their families, their wealth, their background, different stuff like that. But a majority of people who make it are hardworking. So who am I to hate on someone that I know for being successful? That's their life didn't affect my life before, so why would it after? If anything, I would just congratulate them. Jealousy is not. I don't get jealous. Let me take that back. We all get a little jealous from time to time, but I don't get jealous to the point where I'm vengeful or want bad for other people, because it's to see other people doing good, especially ones that that's a positive thing. And if I've helped you along the way, if I've done anything for you, then I would only feel, whether you feel like it or not, I would still feel good about that, because personally I would know. It wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't hate on you. You don't know what people are going through, and you don't. Like I said, I try not to be a jealous person, because I know, people act one way, and then behind closed doors, it's, what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people. We all have insecurities. We all got problems.
Well, we all got a little mask we got to put on to come out and protect ourselves.
Exactly. So whether they're successful, being wealthy, successful or not, you know what I mean? That's just not something to be hateful about. You know what I mean? Like, we all have different paths in life. So you can't. I mean, if you were like the exact reason they got big or they stole something from you. I mean, that's different though.
Yeah.
But to be like a friend of mine or to have you on a show or to, to have done songs with you or, shows together, maybe not necessarily songs or even shows together. If you blow up, I mean, that's all you get from me. I mean, that's what it is. I would just be happy for you because I know how much work goes into this. I know how hard it is to get up in front of 10, 100, 1,000 people and let your voice be heard, So if you can make money, if you can be successful, if you can provide for your family doing that, I would, as long as it doesn't affect me, which 90% of the time it wouldn't,
Yeah.
it wouldn't bother me,
So, happiness, sadness, joy, hope, and or love. Which word would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about love.
Why you pick that?
Number one, it's positive. And number two, because it's, in my personal life and my opinion, the older I get, the less hateful I try to be, And sometimes it works out opposite though, because I say that, but then I actually distance myself from people. So, I mean, if you know me, you're like, nah, that motherfucker ain't like that.
Well, part of it
No,
could be
no,
you're
but
just
but but for
learning
real,
boundaries, right?
though, and the older I get, the more I try to be conscious, I guess, of being hateful and being loving towards people, and I try my hardest to know the difference, or to learn the difference, I should say, because everything's a learning curve. But I would rather show love, because at the end of the day, when you hate, it tends to bring more hate towards you. It tends to bring more negative energy towards you, and that's just like a snowball rolling downhill. It just builds up and builds up, and then what good's that really come to? When you love people, when you show people love, when you show people gratitude, when you shake somebody's hand, when you give them an applause, you know what I mean? When you lift people up, I promise you, at the end of the day, it's going to create opportunities for you. It's going to create good karma. And again, I'm not a religious person, but there's energy in this world. It is. There really is. And that I do believe in. So I just believe in, the older I get, try to be conscious and try to be loving and try to be more understandable to other people's situations, because we all have a different perspective on life. So,
I love that. So 24 hours ago, you think you'd be doing a show here with me and maybe reminiscing about Atwood and shit like that?
No, I did not.
I did not think that we'd be doing a show for.
Speaking of that, are we live on Facebook?
Yeah.
Did you tag me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure you tag me.
Plus, we'll still have it, so you can share it
No,
again and all that stuff.
Make sure.
So do what was I gonna say? I didn't think we'd be talking for an hour and 20 minutes. This is a long show comparatively, and
I said I can
think
go
you're-
for an hour.
no, that's all right. That's all right.
No, I got to be to work anyway.
Okay, we got to keep moving. But thank you so very, very much. I think that a lot of insight here.
No doubt.
I'm thinking, well, I was 21 when you were born, so I was already in Ann Arbor and doing all my stuff over there. So I must
You're
not
still
have,
young.
must not have heard about you. Over
Yeah,
those
no.
years, so.
Well, that's all right. I'm here now, and you guys make sure you guys are on the lookout. October 15th, we are going to be throwing the show here. It's called the Fallback at the Fledge. And again, artists, if you're if you're willing to travel, if you're in the area, come out. It'll be a small slot fee. It's not gonna be nothing crazy. Maybe like $15-$20 to perform, and maybe like $10 at the door. But again, I'll be paying out the top artist at the end of the night. If we have a good crowd, if we have a good enough crowd, I'll pay out the top 2 artists at the end of the night. Just to divvy it out more. It just depends on how big the crowd is. And I also want to do a raffle. I'll probably be giving away maybe like a bottle of Patron or something, or people like to win stuff. So
But don't be opening up the Patron and standing on the tables.
Yeah,
and
share it. No, I just make sure come to me and give me a glass. But yeah, just be on the lookout and thank you, Jerry, for the opportunity. Thank you, Erica, just for introducing me to Jerry. And why I said that, you make sure you check out Erica's what's her last name? I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna say Munchback. You're making me butcher.
I know. I'm sorry, Erica. I'm sorry. Be on the lookout for her upcoming event. It's a kids open mic event. It's called When September Ends. It's gonna be September 25th. I have my daughter, Abriana Jade. She's gonna be performing. Her stage name is gonna be her stage name is Brianna Jade. So be on the lookout for her. She'll be performing at that event. Parents, if you have kids that perform, please contact Erica Munchback on Facebook and shoot her a message. She's looking for I think she's looking for a few more kids to perform. It's kids only for that show. So
or for part of that show, I think she's got.
I'm performing as well. I was gonna say I'm performing on that show as well, but I don't want to take away from the kids. So I mean, I guess that is
kids only.
I guess that is the first time I said that I'm performing on the 25th as well. But again, it's more for the kids. So I just want to make that aware. If you have kids that are performers, contact Erica and she'll have more information about it. I believe she's going to be paying out the little ones. So
I think she's got some of the slots are paid,
yep,
and then some of them are full. So
so contact her. She'll have more information about that. But again, thank you to the Fledge, thank you to Jerry, thank you to Erica. I'm J-Mo. Be on the lookout for my upcoming album, Humbled, that'll be out, like I said, hopefully by Christmas. If not, it'll definitely be out this spring. I have more events coming up. I'll have more videos coming up. Follow me on Instagram at JMoMusic1987. Follow me on Facebook under my name. It's going to be John, John Montalvo. That's Montalvo. And just, amen.
JMO Music.
Yep,
What?
JMO Music 1987.
1987.
Yep, and that's going to be on IG. But again, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody who tuned in to listen. I appreciate it. Just add me up on my social media. Follow me. I have some great music. I'm sure we'll be doing another podcast at some point, maybe next year when you kick off your second season.
Well, I got a different show I want to talk to you about later.
Awesome. We'll talk about
I'll be
that.
announcing another show, I think, tomorrow. So we'll see if I get up the nerve to. But I am going to do a different type of show, and that's going to start sooner than season 2. So
awesome.
All right,
I didn't
y'all.
know nothing about that. So
love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow, and take care. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye-bye.